and welcome back to Woodford County Hometown Highlights, part of the What's Up Woodford Network, where we celebrate the people, history, and the heart of Woodford County. I'm Talor Bennett, and today we're talking about a very special community celebration honoring a woman whose leadership changed the course of Kentucky history, former Governor Martha Lane Collins. On Sunday, March 15th at 2 p.m., the community is invited to gather at the main library in Versailles for the Martha Lane Collins Community Celebration. This event honors her life, her leadership, and the lasting impact she made on the Commonwealth of Kentucky. In 1983, she became the first and still the only woman elected governor of Kentucky. That alone is remarkable. But her leadership went even farther. She played a key role in bringing Toyota manufacturing to Kentucky, transforming the state's economy and creating thousands of jobs. She led with vision, strength, and determination. She passed away in November at the age of 88, leaving behind a powerful legacy. Today, I'm joined by someone who helped bring this meaningful event together. Bookie Wilson is our youth service librarian here at the library and part of the team organizing this celebration. Bookie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Talor.
Of course. So let's start with the heart behind this event. What inspired the library and the chamber to host this community celebration?
Well, Emily Downey here at the chamber approached us about it because Woodford County has a singular honor in that we have had five Kentucky governors who are from Woodford County or had a Woodford County connection. And it was especially important to honor Governor Collins being the first and, as of now, only female governor for the state. So we were delighted to work together to have this celebration of her memory.
So there will be special guests in attendance, including Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman. When you found out she agreed to speak at the program, what was your first reaction?
Oh, I was delighted because Governor Collins plowed a lot of ground for all the women who have held office after her tenure. And Lieutenant Governor Coleman is a huge advocate of education. She's an educator, much like Governor Collins was. So having her there to speak about Governor Collins' role and how it impacted her will make for a very meaningful conversation.
I'm excited about that. So you and your family have personal ties to Governor Collins. Can you share a little about that connection and what she meant to you personally?
Sure. I grew up in Shelby County. My parents were both from Shelby County, and my mom was from the metropolis of Baghdad. I think there were 400 people that lived there when she was growing up. And her parents were very good friends of Governor Collins' parents, Martha and Everett Hall. They owned a funeral home in Shelbyville, which is still run today by their grandson, Steve. So my mother and Governor Collins were buddies in the old days in Baghdad. And then her husband was a dentist, is a dentist still. He's retired. And my dad's a dentist, so those paths crossed some. And then I went to Georgetown College with Steve, the governor's son, where I got to know him. And then later on, when I was teaching, I taught Marla, daughter of Governor Collins. I taught her kiddos. So it's been fun to get to know lots of the generations of the Hall Collins family.
So y'all have I didn't know y'all had that much of a close relationship. Yeah. That's super close.
Yeah, it sort of weaves in and out over the years.
Okay, so what is one memory or story about her that has always stayed with you?
I thought this was funny. Years ago, I was at a program where the governor was speaking to students and sharing with them about her experience. She was always very modest about bringing Toyota to Kentucky and what a transformative thing it was for the state, and her appreciation of education, because she knew that nothing was going to happen without education and good education in the state of Kentucky. So she's talking to the kiddos about Toyota and how it all happened. And one of the fellows, probably about a fifth grader, said, "Well, on what part of the assembly line did you work?"
Oh.
And she was very gracious, and she said, "Well, I had a different role in Toyota. I didn't work directly on the assembly line, but everybody had an important part. Everybody played an important part in that, and I helped bring it here." So she was pretty low key about it.
In your opinion, What made her such an effective and impactful leader?
Well, she was a teacher. She taught junior high and high school. Remember your junior high and high school classes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can manage effectively and educate effectively a group of tweens and teenagers, then I think you pretty much can do anything.
I agree.
So she knew how to work with a group of disparate students in her early years to yield very positive results in terms of their education. And after she finished her teaching career, she had several jobs in state government, including she was clerk of, they changed that when she had that job, but she was clerk, I think, at the Supreme Court, had lots of different jobs. So she learned the ropes in state government, and she built great friendships and great relationships, and she built a great team from that. So I think it was years of learning how things work, how to make things work effectively, how to have a great team that works with you, and she always included women in the mix.
So while she was doing all of that, was there a moment when you realized just how historic her role as governor was?
I don't think I really did until later on, because in the early days, you know, education, Toyota, yeah, this is great, this is great. I think it took a few years down the road for probably not just me, but for probably most people to realize that she made monumental changes to the state. The education reform package that passed during her tenure was a $300 million package. Our schools wouldn't be where they are today all these years later without that. And it goes without saying what an impact Toyota has had on Kentucky and our status in the world. Kentucky was known for Kentucky Fried Chicken, and now we have this enormous company that has ties to all sorts of places in the world and has brought so much other business to Kentucky. So it's not just Toyota, it's Toyota and all of the offshoots that it brought.
Are there qualities she had that people may not have seen publicly?
Well, she was devoted to her family and her community, wherever that was, and accordingly to the citizens of Kentucky. She really wanted to make a difference. And she was, that old expression, an iron hand in a velvet glove. She got things done effectively, but in a lovely manner. She had a steely side to her, but she was very personable and just made things happen in a great way.
How did she manage to be such a trailblazer while still staying connected to her hometown roots?
I think that may be why she was such a trailblazer, because she had such great roots. I clearly remember her parents. They were lovely folks. Her dad was a tall guy and just had quite a presence, and I think they passed that on to the governor. She was Fair Queen. Well, no, sorry. She wasn't Fair Queen. She was the Tobacco Festival Queen, which was a big deal in Shelby County. Went on to be Derby Queen. So she had lots of civic involvement like that. And then, obviously we know lots of the other great stuff that happened. But I think she became such a big leader, such a good and effective leader, because she had those roots. She was firmly planted, and she knew she was supported, and she had great role models. And in a small town like Baghdad and a small community like Shelbyville, it's bigger than Baghdad, there were lots of people that would impact your life, the folks you went to church with. Or, Mr. Lawson that had the department store, or Mr. Scarce that had the antique gallery. And their impact on her life, I think she saw all that, and that community and those roots gave her the ability to just flourish in ways that I don't know if she even imagined.
So as a librarian yourself that works with children and the youth, how do you see her legacy inspiring young people, especially young girls in the community?
I think it's important for people to know that you can dream big dreams and you can make them happen through tenacity and just forging on. And I continue talking about her team. A dear friend of my mother's was an administrative assistant, or kind of her right hand when the governor was in office. And she had talked about the teamwork. There was a lot of, it wasn't just one person doing the job. And when the governor spoke several times, when I heard her speak about the education reforms that her administration made and Toyota, it was never me. It was always us. It was always, we got this done together. These legislators and these folks that work together to make things happen. So I think the more positive role models we have for young women, and young men too, but especially for young women, it's been since 1983 since Governor Collins was elected. I think it's probably time to have another female governor.
Yeah. And what do you hope people walk away feeling after they attend this program?
I hope they feel proud of Governor Collins, proud of Woodford County, proud of how we all work together. How she came here as a young parent and mom, and had her first involvement with the Democratic Party here. She worked for Wendell Ford, who became governor. I just think we should be really proud. We have had 5 folks from Woodford County be the governors of Kentucky, and for her to be the one woman, I think we should be immensely proud of that.
And if she was here with us today, what do you think she would say to Kentuckians?
I think she'd say we need to do better for education, regarding education, because that was so, so important. She spoke at length about that, and that we need to have an educated workforce, however that looks. That doesn't mean everybody goes to a 4-year college. That means that we have great tradespeople. That means that we have folks that stock the shelves at Kroger, librarians, all of the different people that work for our community, that work to make our community stronger. I think she'd say we got to keep taking care of our educators and make sure our children are well educated, make sure all those parts that work for education are healthy and strong, well compensated, respected, and honored. We can't, it's not all about just the teachers. And we need our good administrators. We need great bus drivers. We need the great folks that are the custodians and the people that work in the cafeteria, the ETC programs. All of those parts work together for a strong educational system. And that's what I think she'd say. And would want us to keep doing better.
I didn't know that she had a big hand with Toyota. So I would love to hear what she thinks of it today.
Oh gosh.
Because it has done a lot for a lot of families here in Kentucky.
Sure has. We all know people that work at Toyota. Great jobs.
Yes, very good benefits too.
And there's so many ancillary businesses. I think I know there are lots in Georgetown. I think there are a bunch in Frankfort that were spawned by Toyota that have also offered great jobs for people. Years ago, there weren't a lot of options in Kentucky, in digging coal or mining coal. That came with its own set of difficulties. Plus, we don't have much coal in Woodford County. So being able to bring such a major business, I think it'd be interesting to see what the economic impact is even this year. I wouldn't even want to wager a guess, but I'd say huge.
Oh, I bet. And finally, in one sentence, what does Collins mean to you?
Oh gosh, I feel lucky to have known her. I really do. She was very modest and unassuming, and I think seeing that a small town girl from a really small town, Baghdad didn't have a stoplight. It may have one now. But that a girl from a small town could dream really big dreams. And through her hard work and commitment to the people of Kentucky and improving the lives of all the people of Kentucky, she did all that. And I think that is an amazing, she led an amazing life. She really was a trailblazer, and she accomplished such big things in so many ways. I think I feel really lucky to have known her, and proud to have her as a fellow Shelby Countyan and Woodford Countyan.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anything else that you would like to put out there that we didn't get to touch on?
I just look forward to everybody coming on the 15th. It'll be a fun day. We're going to have a reception with several speakers. The Collins family should be in attendance. We're anticipating that we don't know if everybody will be able to be there, but that some of the family will be here. So folks in Woodford County that knew Steve and Marla and Dr. Collins can come over and visit. We're going to have some photographs and ephemera. And by the way, Talor, if people have things they'd like to share, like photographs or campaign buttons, or maybe you have a program from her inauguration, we would love to be able to borrow those for the temporary usage at this program and put them on display at the library. So I hope people will come join us. It'll be a fun day.
Thank you, Bookie, for joining me today. Just a reminder that the community celebration will take place at the main library located at 115 North Main Street in Versailles on Sunday, March 15th at 2 p.m. Everyone is welcome to attend. You can register through the Chamber's website, and you can also find the details on the library's calendar online. We hope you'll join us. Until next time, this has been Woodford County Hometown Highlights, where we continue to shine a light on the stories that make our hometown extraordinary. Thank you.